Today we're going to look at some OP attacking options for the start of FC25. Now when I say attacking options, I'm obviously talking about strikers, wingers and attacking midfielders. Now a lot of these cards are going to have a bit of value to them is sort of my prediction. They're not going to be like crazy budget cards like a couple of the other cards we've been looking at and a couple more of these like early FC25 card videos. So just bear in mind, I'm not saying these guys are going to be like cheap OP beasts, but I think they're going to be pretty OP and pretty good for the start of the game. So without further ado, let's get into the cards. Starting off with Lookman, 82 rated and a striker, and this guy looks really nice for the start of the game. Main sort of standout stats, obviously 84 pace is really nice at the start of the game. It's not too bad. You're looking at sort of those mid to high 80s as not as a minimum, but like that's where those cards early doors start to get very good, because with a good chem style you're looking at like 90 plus pace at the start of the game, which is very quick. 81 shooting is really nice again for the start of the game. Really good positioning and finishing as little stats to really look at there on Lookman. So he's going to be in the right place and have the competence to find the back of the net. Passing stats obviously a touch on the lower side, but you kind of expect that. The curve is the only thing for me that I'm a little bit like not perfect really for this, but hopefully it won't be the end of the world. Obviously finesse shots might not be his strongest point, but other shots look like they'll be pretty effective for him. Now into the dribbling, which is another really good stat. 91 agility and 85 balance. Really nice for me. Again, start of the game, very nice. All of his stats in the dribbling tab are very good. Composure being the only one that's slightly low, but 78 composure for, again, for this, I keep saying the start of the game, 78 composure early doors, not the end of the world. 4-star as well. Obviously decent links for a good league as well. A pretty nice card in all honesty. Another striker, this time we're looking at Ramirez, who's at the women's Chelsea team. Now this is going to be a very good card, I would imagine, at the start of the game. 90 pace with a beautiful pace split of 89 and 90. 83 shooting with the lowest stat being 75 penalties, and then after that is 80 volleys. So the two stats that I'm personally least worried about in the shooting stats are the lowest two. The others are all 81 plus, which is phenomenal, including 85 shooting, which is great to see. Really nice in the passing stats where it needs to be. 81 vision's great, 78 short passing is great. Again, the curves are touch low, but again, hopefully minus finesse shots, she's going to be scoring pretty much all the other like kind of shots that you'll be looking for. 85 dribbling, again across the board, beautiful stats. 81 composure and reactions being the lowest. 91 agility with 86 balance. 84 ball control and 85 dribbling. Really nice stats there. Really lovely card. And overall, I have to say, this looks like it'll probably be a pretty spenny card. 86 physicality as well with 93 stamina, 95 jumping. I don't think she's very tall. I have a feeling she's like 5'6" or so. So high jumping is going to be helpful with really good strength as well. Again, for a shorter player, 4-star skills. You can't ask for much more than that. I think, again, early doors should be pretty good. Looking at a wide player, we're going to Carrasco, who I'm fairly sure is still out in the Saudi League. I could be wrong on that, so do double check that before taking my word for it. 4-star, again, lovely stuff. Really nice pace with a beautiful pace split as well, so really good for a wide player. Again, if you want it to be 90 plus chem style and you're golden. 81 shooting, again, for a wide player is really nice. 81 finishing and 84 shot power being the two that I'm mainly focused on there. This guy does have good curve, so my thought process is sort of cutting inside and then having that finesse shot with 86 curve and 82 long shots is going to be probably something that ends up being quite useful for you. All of the passing stats are pretty good, minus the long. Again, 74 long passing isn't the end of the world. Compare that with 82 crossing and you'll probably be okay. So overall, the passing stats are pretty solid for me. 85 dribbling, again, lovely. 70 balance, it's a slight shame it's not sort of mid to high 70s as a minimum, but everything else there looks great, including 88 dribbling, which is lovely. 84 ball control and composure as well. Beautiful stuff. 76 stamina, which I think will be enough. Strength slightly on the low side, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Now, I'm probably going to say this wrong. Ajabade, I've probably butchered that, but she is, I believe, in the Spanish league, plays on the left wing, and again, a very nice starter card here. 91 pace with a lovely pace split. 83 shooting, again, for a wide player is phenomenal, with the only stat below 80 being penalties, which again, as long as you have a penalty taker, it doesn't matter what her penalty stat is because she won't be on them. 85 finishing and 85 positioning as well, so she'll be in the right place and she's good at finding the back of the net. 75 curve to pair with that, I think, is enough, and plenty, so that's not too bad at all. The passing stats, you could argue, are maybe a bit low for somebody who's playing out wide, so you could argue maybe that would need a bit of a boost. You'd maybe look to use a chem style to get that raised a little bit. You could go catalyst and just go like max pace and just boost the passing to be around the 80s to sort of match the shooting and dribbling. if that's the way you would want to play that. But decent vision and crossing. Agility and balance being both above 80 is lovely, with, again, the rest of those stats as well being 81 plus. So 84 dribbling overall, which is really nice. Great dribbling, solid composure, and great ball control as well. 84 stamina and strength is great to see. So she's not just going to be running for a long time, but she's going to be pretty good at holding players off, with 92 jumping again, so good in the air. Trossard is good at the start of every FIFA, and I feel like people don't pay attention to that enough. He is always such a good starter card. I used him really early doors in the game, and he was so good for me. He scored me plenty of goals. I ran him as a left wing / centre forward. Obviously, I know centre forwards aren't in 25, but that sort of role. And he was always just fine in the back of the net for me. 82 pace with a bit of a dodgy pace split, but he's going to get to his max speed pretty quick with a nice high acceleration. I personally would maybe want a chem style that's at the very least going to boost the sprint speed. But 81 shooting again, and the stats are like placed really nicely for me, with high positioning, finishing, and shot power with good long shots as well. The volleys and penalties being the lower stats, again for me, not the end of the world. Just have a penalty taker in your team. 83 curve, again perfect, much like we said with Carrasco. Cut inside and hit it on his right foot, and you're laughing. And worst case scenario, if you ended up hitting on his left foot, he's got a 5-star weak foot, so that's not the end of the world either, with 4-star skills. Lovely stuff. Passing stats otherwise all pretty good outside of the free kick accuracy, so guess what, just don't put them on free kicks and you're fine. Dribbling is another spot where this card shines though. 92 agility and 85 balance, lovely stuff for me. 84 ball control, dribbling, and composure, yes please, and 80 reactions being his lowest stat in dribbling. Absolutely fine. 85 dribbling across the board there. Very happy. Decent enough stamina again for the start of the game. Strength's a little bit low, so he might be shrugged off the ball just a little bit, but as long as you're sort of finding that space, and again the composure and dribbling to sort of combine with a slightly lower strength, hopefully would just mean he's good at keeping that ball and then playing it off or having a shot himself. But for me, Trossard looks a really solid starter card. Llorente has received a downgrade, but I still think this card looks very viable for the start of the game. Depending on where you want to play him, whether it's sort of as a box-to-box or playing him out on the right. I know I said today we're mainly looking at attacking players. He can play those attacking roles, which is why I've sort of included him in there. But for me personally, he probably is like an ideal box-to-box alongside a DM. So looking at him working his way forward a little bit, so I've been a bit cheeky including him. But 89 pace with a pretty decent pace split, really nice for me. Shooting stats are not bad. High finishing and shot power, which isn't too shabby at all, with a decent enough long shots at edge of the box. You could just sort of have pops to him. I hope that you're going to find the back of the net. And again, 4-star weak foot. If it's on his left or his right, he's got a half decent chance of doing it. 3-star skills, not the end of the world for a box-to-box. If it was directly a cam, you'd maybe want that 4-star. But early sort of part of the game, 3-4 is pretty good. Passing, not bad at all. Short passing and long passing being decent, with a decent curve cross and pretty good vision. So across the board there, very nice. Much like Trossard, just don't put them on free kicks and you'll be absolutely fine. The only stickler for me about this card personally is the 68 balance. It might end up being a bit detrimental. The rest of his dribbling stats being 79 and above, absolutely great for me. So the balance is the only one little thing that I'm like, not perfect. This will probably be the only card in today's video that we kind of pay attention to the defending stats, because he's the only one that does a little bit of that, really. And again, across the board, minus heading accuracy, really nice defensive stats. So he will do a decent job. Good defensive awareness, good interceptions and stand tackles. Again, a pretty good card for me, even if you're running him that slightly more defensively. And physicality, it's all pretty good. 77 strength is the lowest stat, with 91 stamina, so he's not going to stop running, with good jumping and good aggression. Yes, he's been downgraded a bit rating-wise, but I still think he'd be pretty viable at the start of the game. I don't think he'll be as expensive as he was at the start of 24, but I think he'll still have a bit of value to him in 25. Pulisic was a card that slightly surprised me with how good his starter card ended up being. I know he had a very good season over at AC Milan, but I didn't expect them to kind of do his card quite this nicely. I mean, he is the LeBron James of football, but it's still a pretty decent card here. 88 pace with a pace split that's just outside of my preference of a 5 either side, so 6 difference. It's not the end of the world. It's still a very nice pace stat. 82 shooting, with the lowest being volleys. The rest of them are 79 and above. Yes, please. Great finishing. Good penalties. He could be a penalty taker if you don't have another one. Good shot power, decent long shots, and nice positioning. Lovely curve. Yet again, have him cut inside and have those finesse shots. Only thing would be, he's obviously right-footed. You're cutting on in his left foot, but it is a 5-star weak foot, so it could still be decent. It could still be pretty useful for you. 4-star skills as well to boot, which is very nice indeed. Overall, vision, crossing, free kick accuracy, all decent enough passing stats. Good short pass, and again, the 83 curve is lovely. Dribbling, Lovely stuff here. Lowest stat in his dribbling is 83 composure. Everything else being 84 or above is phenomenal. 90 agility, 86 balance. Very nice as well. 85 as an in-game dribbling and 86 ball control as well. Lovely, lovely stats. His dribbling is going to be really, really where this card comes to life with a good pace stat as well. So that quick dribbling hopefully will be quite effective. And then into the physicality, low on the strength side of things. Stamina is decent. It's not astronomical, but it's not a problem. But yeah, honestly, the only thing for me is maybe just the strength. Outside of this, really nice card in a good league, in a good team with some good links as well. Overall, I think Pulisic could be a lovely starter card. Marlon, yet again, I think is going to have a really nice starter card at the start of FC. Really good pace stat. Again, the split is a little bit high for me, but it's not a problem. 81 shooting, lovely across the board. Great shot power, finishing and positioning with decent volleys. So if you're somebody who plays a lot of crosses and wants to get a volley, he could be a guy. Good passing where it needs to be, which is curve is okay, and the short passing is decent as well. He has got slightly lower crossing, but again, for me, I kind of always see Marlon as a striker in game. When I'm thinking about his card, I think of him down the middle rather than out wide, but crossing's okay enough that if you've got a decent header of the ball in the box, he'll probably still be okay for you. Lovely dribbling, great agility and balance being 86 and 87 between the two of them. Lovely dribbling at 86 and 85 ball control. Overall, that's a really, really nice set of dribbling stats. The composure 79, again, is not a problem. It's a touch on the low side of what's good, but it's still in that good bracket for me. And then physicality, enough stamina, good jumping as well, because I think he's maybe 6 foot, maybe 6'1", so he's not tiny, but he's not massive. But a good jumping stat is helpful. But yeah, decent strength as well for a wide player. Another player whose name I probably shouldn't have included because I can't pronounce it, Berenstain. Probably got that wrong. But the Dutch winger, I think she's in the Bundesliga, the Women's Bundesliga. Lovely pace with a lovely pace split as well. Decent enough shooting with 88 finishing and 84 positioning is great. The rest of the shooting stats maybe a touch on the lower side of things. But if you get her into the right position, I reckon she will score you plenty of goals. Again, right-footed, so cutting in from that left onto the right. And you kind of want to stick to the right because it is a 2-star weak foot, but it's 4-star skills, which is quite nice. Passing stats, slightly on the lower side. Not great on the crossing, not great on the long passing, but good short passing and okay curve. That's the only real slight stickler for me on this card, is the passing stats leave a bit to be desired. But again, give it a boost and it could be okay. Dribbling though, again, a lovely, lovely stat for this. 88 balance, 87 ball control and 87 dribbling. I think this card is really, really looking decent in that dribbling side of things. So it's maybe you get the ball into the box and play the short pass, or you get into a decent enough position to have a bit of a pop, but you don't really want to be looking at crossing ideally. So the dribbling hopefully can help with getting into the right places to play the right pass that suits the card. And then physicality, 85 jumping, so good in the air, with 77 stamina and strength. So not too bad. Again, maybe not one of the more expensive cards on this list, but I think there will be some value to it because some people will be able to use this card in the right way to make the most of it. Up next is Saar, 83 rated striker, and she looks really, really good actually as well here. There's a couple of small stats that maybe slightly take a bit of value off of this, but we'll get to that when we get to that. 90 pace with a decent split, 79 shooting, which I think is ever so slightly misleading because it's 79 shot power, 83 finishing, 82 positioning. The long shots slightly low, but the volleys and penalties are pretty low, which does kind of, I think, knock the shooting down to 79 when it maybe could be 80 or 81. And just seeing an 80 shooting over a 79, I think people would be like, I'm buying that card. 80 shooting, that's all right. 79 makes people maybe question it a little bit, so could knock a bit of value down on it. 77 passing, which again, the stats that need to be okay for a striker are, which is 74 curves, not too bad. 84 short passing is quite nice, and 76 vision. Dribbling, only thing about this card, 64 balance. Could be a small problem. Some people could argue that it's not a great balance stat, and you're not entirely wrong. And that could be a small sort of iffy part about this. 79 agility, it's not astronomical, but it's not a huge problem. The rest of dribbling is lovely. 83 reactions, 86 ball control, 84 dribbling, and 81 composure, which is all pretty nice, pretty decent. Again, down the middle, hopefully will do the job there. 81 heading accuracy is quite nice, along with 94 jumping, which is phenomenal. 79 stamina, again, for a striker, I think is fine, with 83 strength. So hopefully enough strength to hold the ball off, and it maybe hopefully counteracts the low balance a little bit. Hopefully, whether it does or doesn't, I don't know, but that's the hope. And the last card for today is Tsiganyakov. Probably butchered that one as well. Lovely pace with a lovely pace split as well. 85 across the board there. For a wide player, 85 you could argue is maybe a touch on the low side, but early doors, I don't think it's a huge problem. And again, put something like a Hawk on him, put something like an Engine on him. and you'll be absolutely fine. 80 shooting for a wide player, again, lovely. Good on penalties as well. If you don't have a penalty taker, he could be your guy. In on the right, cutting in on his left foot with 4-star. 4-star is lovely too. The shooting stats of 82 positioning, 82 shot power, very, very nice. Sorry, 82 finishing, not shot power. 78 shot power with 77 long shots. Really nice for a wide player there. Passing's really good as well. Great crossing, lovely vision, good short passing, decent long pass as well with good free kick accuracy and lovely curves. So passing there is pretty good. 82 dribbling, very nice. 83 agility, 72 balance, a touch on the low side. Again, if you can up that with a chem style, then I think you probably would, just to really tick the last box of this card. But good reactions, ball control, dribbling, and composure. Lovely, lovely stats. Not the most physical card. 77 stamina, though, is not a big problem. I think that's probably okay. But overall, I think a decent card and a decent league. But those are the cards for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do leave a like on the video. It supports me, the video, and the channel out a whole bunch. Plenty of content coming out for FC25, and hopefully you guys are noticing the more consistent uploads, and that will continue through the actual game of 25 as well. Trying to get stuff out very consistently. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. Take care.